Will you anchor in the storms of life? When the clouds unfold, the sun hides thick and the people sing. Will you anchor we have anchored that keeps us so steadfast and sure while the billows roll. As to the rock which cannot move, running curving deep in the Savior's arms. It's safety more till the storm withstand. For it is well secured by the Savior's hand, and the cables pass from his heart to mine, and defy the blast through strength divine. We have anchored that keeps us so steadfast and sure while the billows roll. As into the rock which cannot move, running burning deep in the Savior's love. I see hope through every night, the city of gold, our harbor bright. We shall anchor fast by the heavenly shore, with the storms all past forever true. We have anchored that keeps us so steadfast and sure while the billows roll. As into the rock which cannot move, running burning deep in the Savior's love.
Let's stand and sing a song. We make our songs have a military theme, not being soldiers of Christ. So let's sing with the word of that.
There's a royal banner giving voice laid to the soldiers of the King. And the King's Son fair we lift it up today, while his ransom once received. Marching on, marching on, for Christ sounds everything belongs for the King of Kings, through toil and safety, beneath the banner of the cross. Over land and sea, wherever men may dwell, make the glorious tidings known. Others and manner now the story tell, how the Lord shall make his home. Marching on, marching on, for Christ counts everything lost for the King of Kings, through toil and safety, beneath the banner of the cross. When the great commander from the vaulted sky sounds the resurrection day, then before our King of praise and worship high, and the saints shall march away. Marching on, marching on, for Christ sounds everything belongs for the King of Kings, through toil and safety, beneath the banner of the cross.
I wanted to do something different tonight.
And guys, I'm just using the pulpit mic, so you can keep that one on this evening. You know, if I had to listen to me all the time, I'd want something different too, occasionally. So I was thinking about something I might do a little bit different this evening. And I was reminded that a few weeks ago, Max Teehee led a group of us from the Monday Night for the Master program out to Oakdale Nursing Home, where we sang for Randall and Wilma Winters in their room there at Oakdale. I guess we had about a dozen or 15 people, and it was just great. We sang some wonderful old songs, and they appreciated it. And it was mentioned to me by several people, why don't we just have a night where we focus on some of these songs and maybe what their meaning is. So as I was thinking this past week, I thought about some of those older songs, and I've had some suggested to me. So I've tried to do a little bit of research on them so I can share their stories with you. I believe that singing perhaps is one of the most neglected aspects of our worship. It's not neglected in that we do not do it, but I think it's often neglected in that we take it for granted. And whether it be an older song or a new song, a familiar song or a song that we're not quite as acquainted with, so often we skim the words, and sometimes we may even be more interested in the harmonies and the notes than in the words themselves. Behind every song, whether it be an old song or a new song, there is, of course, an author. And behind every author, there is a story waiting to be told, just as you have a story in your life that is waiting to be told. So tonight, I've got these 5 hymns that I want to tell you about. We're going to sing them. And the first one is, take your books because I don't have them on the screen, but the first one will be 139. Anna L. Waring was born in England in 1820. She lived to the age of 90, died in 1910. Anna was raised in the Friends movement. That's the Quaker church. However, in 1842, she was just 22 years old. She joined the Anglican church. She was very caught up in the idea of poetry, and she wanted to learn specifically Hebrew poetry. The book of Psalms fascinated her. So Anna learned to read Hebrew, and she became very skilled in the Hebrew language. She wrote poems, and the first book of her poems was published in 1848, and it contained a poem entitled In God's Safety. In God's Safety. That is the poem that contains the words to this song, In Heavenly Love Abiding. Now, the tune was actually written by the German composer Mendelssohn. But as you look at the words to this song, we're reminded of the fact that God's abiding presence is with his children in all of the different circumstances of life. Look, if you will, at the first verse. In heavenly love abiding, no change my heart can fear. You know, sometimes life can be rather scary, can't it? But safe is such confiding, for nothing changes here. Where? In God's presence. God's care, his love, his concern is always with us. This past Wednesday night in our agape groups, we studied Psalm 148. where we talked about God's mercy, grace, forgiveness, about God's mighty works, about His eternal kingdom, and about His everlasting presence. I think that's what Anna Waring had in mind when she said, "Safe is such confiding, for nothing changes here. The storm may roar without me, my heart may low be laid, but my Savior is," well, what's the next part? God is round about. I don't have these before me, so I'm just working off of up here, all right? But God is round about me, and can I be dismayed? So think about that as we sing these words tonight from In Heavenly Love Abiding. Let's sing it together.
In heavenly love abiding, change my heart shall be, and save His heart and mine. For every change is here, the storm may roll without me, my heart will be.